Today I'm going to be talking about not reading and why that is absolutely okay, because it's what I've been doing for the past 2 years. As many of you know, 2 years ago, or almost 2 years ago, I handed in my dissertation for my MA. The September deadline for my dissertation marked the end of required reading for university. For the last 4 years, I had read so much, especially for my MA. I felt like my MA was basically the 3 years of my undergraduate in 1 year, and the reading felt like that. And after I finished, because I had been so used to someone telling me what to read, I just kind of stopped doing it. I just didn't really... At first I was kind of like, I'm going to give myself some time off, and then that time off became a year, and then it kind of became 2 years. But I don't actually feel that sad about it. I feel kind of guilty because I'm supposed to be I don't necessarily consider myself a booktuber, but I'm definitely a part of the book community here and on obviously Twitter and Instagram. So it feels a bit weird, kind of slightly confessional, me sitting back and saying that I don't read. And of course that's not true, I do read. I've done a lot of dipping in and out of books. I've done a lot of buying books, definitely. And I have been reading, but I just haven't read in the same way. I think it's because I did go from reading so many books a week. But strangely, it wasn't actually the university that made me stop reading. Like, some people say that they just get almost so burnt out from university and that they just didn't want to read after they'd been reading so structured, like in such a structured way for so long. But I actually thrived off that at university. It was probably my favourite thing about university. Yeah, I was absolutely stressed by it, and when you're told you've got to read something, it obviously has that extra stress associated with it, and there were always times where I was slightly panicky about not being able to finish the book in time. But for me, university, like the reading lists, were often books that I had on my shelves and that I'd always wanted to read. I just didn't really have sometimes the push to read them. I'm quite into kind of reading classics and often 19th century literature and 20th century writing. And, my undergraduate was basically that, and my MA was 19th century and 18th century. So they almost pushed me to read the books that I'd always wanted to. And so I read voraciously because they introduced me to my new favourite books. Obviously, there were some books on my university course that I absolutely hated. And I feel like that is also the point of university, because you get to know what styles you don't like and which books you will never read again. But since then, and since handing in my dissertation, I haven't really read. I think I didn't have that structure anymore. And I don't really want to join a book club because I am not into organised fun that much. So a book club for me, I don't know, it's not something that really appeals to me. But I haven't really been that anxious about not reading, and it's just because I've been busy. And people always say, or get annoyed about when people say that they don't read or haven't been reading because they're busy, because they're not busy, they're just busy doing other stuff. But they say that as a bad thing, and I'm like, yeah, I've been busy doing other things that I also like and also enjoy. For me, one of my big hobbies is taking pictures. I would say photography. Actually, I have a camera, I take pictures, I don't know much about it, but I love it. And going outside and taking pictures and going on day trips and taking my camera with me is one of life's greatest pleasures for me. And so I spent a lot of my time doing that, and I am one of those people who I'm a bit black and white in my thinking to a certain extent. Like, I've been completely obsessed with something and I'm pretty much only thinking about that, or I'm not thinking about it at all. So, for instance, like with The Flat, I was so consumed by it, and so much of my time and energy went on to researching moving out and furniture and all of that kind of practical stuff. So my mind was so full that I just didn't read because my head was so busy doing other things, and I think that's right. To a certain extent, I should be busy doing other things. I feel like dry patches in reading are natural. Like, there'll always be times in your life where certain hobbies or certain things don't fit in. I feel like we so often punish ourselves for not doing stuff enough, or I just feel like we're so hard on ourselves, and sometimes you just need like a break. Saying that, I am making this video, so I obviously do feel a bit of a need to confess my sins that I haven't really been reading. At the moment though, I do really feel the need to read in a way that I haven't felt for a really long time. Just because I think I'm feeling really good at the moment, and I actually feel very content and quite confident. And so I feel like I've got more space now in my head to read, and one of the things that has really, really helped me, and actually is a way of reading that I really love, is my Kindle. Controversial, or is it? Should it really be? No, it shouldn't be. Yep, Amazon is problematic, totally get that. But for me, reading on an ebook is actually one of my preferred ways of reading. I love books. I love the physicality of them. I love the art of them, the typeface. I'm very, very fussy about my editions of books. But I also had the realisation that sometimes I was caring too much about what they look like, and not always finishing them. Bad habit of mine is not finishing books, even if I love them. Sometimes I do this thing where I love a book so much that I get like halfway through, even more than halfway through, and I go, well, this is obviously going to be one of my favourite books of all time, so I might as well just stop reading, because like I know it's going to be a favourite. I don't do that all the time, but I have done it, and it does annoy Ben so much. So anyway, my Kindle for me, I think, has actually been a slight revolution in the last couple of days, especially in reading. I love sitting down there and curling up, and I read a lot quicker on it. I actually find it strangely, I get less distracted reading with my Kindle. I don't know why. Maybe it's just because it's easier to read on, it's not as heavy, and you don't have to, how bad is that? Like, I don't have to flick pages. Obviously, like, flicking pages is so difficult, guys, come on. But no, so I'm feeling really positive about reading, mainly just because I feel like I have let myself not care about how many books I'm reading. I've never really done the Goodreads challenge, and that was mainly because I was ashamed that I didn't read as much as other people. And it shouldn't be about the quantity of books you read, it should be about the books that you read that change the way you think, or become a new favourite, or maybe books that you just hate, and now you can say, well, I really don't like that book, because anything that kind of brings a new conversation in with someone. I think that is the importance of reading, is the stuff that comes after. It's not how many you read. If you read loads of books and you can't do that, it's not worth anything to me, in my opinion. Now is a really good time for me in terms of reading, but next month it might not be. It's all about looking after yourself. Like, why make a hobby something that isn't fun, you know? I will always be a reader. Sometimes I won't read as many books as you. Sometimes maybe I'll read more books than you, who knows? Like, maybe I'll never read again after making this video. But I think so many of you wanted me to make bookish content, and I will be making bookish content. But I kind of felt like I needed to be honest and open about me not reading anymore, or not reading, I don't know. I think people think I must read loads of books. I think that's the thing. The reality of Instagram has made me realise that people have a very different view of me. Not because, I mean, of course Instagram is created, but for me it's never anything untruthful. But I do feel like people think I spent all my time reading, lying down on my bed or on my sofa with a book, and I do that, yeah, sure, but I'm also the slowest and most distractible reader in probably the history of the world. So yeah, no one's perfect, no one's the best reader. I honestly don't care how many books you read in your lifetime, as long as you are happy and content and can, I don't know, talk to me about them. Like, I love people telling me about their favourite books, and when I know someone who finds their favourite book, I get so happy that they've like found it, and I always want to talk to people about it. The only books I will say you definitely have to read are Mrs. Dalloway by Virginia Woolf. That is a requirement for if you're going to be subscribed to my channel. I should put that as a rule before people can press the subscribe button. You have to be like interested in reading that book. Jonathan Strange and Mr. North, but then that is a big book. There'd be a lot to ask. Mr. Dalloway is only really short, so maybe I should just have that as my requirement. I am doing weekly uploads. If you have any recommendations or suggestions for videos, let me know. I'm going to do the stereotypical, don't forget to like, subscribe. And what would really help is that if you turned on your notifications for my channel, because of algorithms, it means that you'll be reminded that I upload a video. But yeah, have a lovely day, a lovely week, and read, or not read. Do what you want. Honestly, it's fine. I don't care that much, to be honest. I mean, I care that you're okay, but, you know. Yeah, I'm gonna go now.